What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video and welcome to my first 2019 NFL mock draft. Now, this might be the earliest I've ever done a mock draft. I usually like to wait until the combine to put out my first mock draft because you really don't know what to get from these players yet. Their film studies aren't always, how they're going to perform now. And also, there's a lot of film studies from 2017. They could have worked on their craft, gotten better or worse in those years. So I like to do my mock drafts a little later, but I'm throwing this one out there now just to get your guys' opinions on it, and we'll work our way from there. Now, this will be a longer video, so in the description below there are all the draft picks for you guys, and in the comments will be the timestamp for every single draft pick. So in the comments, so you guys can click on that timestamp, it'll take you right there. When I put the timestamps in the description, it won't give you a little link, so it'll take you right there. You're gonna have to do it yourself. So I'm gonna put it in the comments. So matter of fact, I'll put all of the picks in the comments. So that's it for you guys. Also, just want to give a quick pointer out. I will be starting my Undrafted Analyst podcast sometime this week, by latest next week, but I really want to get it done this week. So follow me on Twitter. Link is in the description for any updates on that. And last but not least, I do want to say I'm doing when I get to 2,000 subscribers, I want to do something special for you guys. So if you guys are watching this and you guys are new, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be doing something great for you guys. Hopefully you guys will like it. I got some ideas in mind. I don't really want to throw it out there yet, but I got some ideas, so make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. So without further ado, here's my 2019 NFL mock draft. With the first pick in the 2019 NFL draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Quinnen Williams, defensive tackle out of Alabama. Alright, so I get what you're saying. Why not Nick Bosa here? Well, Nick Bosa, I don't really think Nick Bosa really fits the scheme that the Arizona Cardinals run more than Quinnen Williams. Now, I think Quinnen Williams can be a #1 overall pick. I think he'll have very good production for any team he goes to. So skipping out on Nick Bosa here, it will be a very good benefit for the Arizona Cardinals. As you guys know, so with Steve Wilks out of there, they're now moving back to a 3-4 defense, which is perfect for the Arizona Cardinals. They had a historically bad defense switching to the 4-3 because their roster is built on the 3-4. You cannot just throw your guys into a 4-3. They did nothing to that defense. They didn't switch any personnel. They didn't sign any new players, the Arizona Cardinals. So they just went right from a 3-4 to a 4-3 and hoped everything would work out from there. And especially missing out on James Betcher, their defensive coordinator, who's really had a fantastic defense with the Arizona Cardinals. Now with my New York Giants, their defense is falling apart. They're going to move back to the 3-4 defense, and it's going to be great for them. And Quinnen Williams is a perfect scheme fit there. You need to get younger at that defensive end position. In the front seven in general, throwing Quinnen Williams at 3-4 defensive end is going to be fantastic. On top of that, I think with his ability with his hand technique is phenomenal, and his arm strength is phenomenal. He can bull rush, he can spin move, he can do anything you guys want him to do. He's a pass rushing, attacking defensive end / defensive tackle. He can play 5 technique. I believe he can do it. He's a little bit on the bigger side. I think he can play 5 technique defensive end, but his best scheme fit obviously is going to be 3-4 defensive end in that 3 technique. So go ahead and pick up Quinnen Williams. Will be a great first overall pick. Moving on to the San Francisco 49ers, I had them selecting Nick Bosa, defensive end out of Ohio State. Now, this is a perfect scheme fit. You guys missed on Solomon Thomas. He doesn't really fit your scheme. He's better inside. So him, Eric Armstead inside, along with your sack artist in DeForest Buckner. I mean, DeForest Buckner has been lighting it up for you guys. So bringing in Nick Bosa is going to make up for that Solomon Thomas pick, and you guys are going to get a very, very good sack artist there in Nick Bosa. Just looking at him off the snap and his high motor, he's doing that throughout the whole entire game. I mean, he's a better prospect than Joey Bosa is, and you know what Joey Bosa is doing with the Chargers right now. Nick Bosa is a better prospect. So moving on to the New York Jets, we have the Jets selecting Josh Allen, outside linebacker out of Kentucky. Now, I know what you guys thinking. You guys Jets fans thinking, he doesn't fit our scheme fit. I get it. Greg Williams is now the defensive coordinator for the Jets, and he's switching the defense to a 4-3 defense. So how does Josh Allen really fit into this defense? Well, the easy answer is he just doesn't. But throwing in a prototype like him, a versatile guy, he reminds me a lot of Leonard Floyd, and I've seen analysts completely agree with me on that, that he reminds me of a Leonard Floyd because of his very lanky body, very skinny body, someone that is not able to stop the run as much as you would like him to, but is just a flat-out speed rusher. You need somebody on that front seven for the Jets, and my best fit for him, it's not defensive end, guys. He is not a defensive end. Do not throw him on that D-line when you're in the 4-3. Do not do it. If you want to use Josh Allen the best way, I would say strong side 4-3 outside linebacker. You have to throw him out on that strong side just because he is that pass rushing guy. If you throw him out to that weak side, sure, he can rush the passer as a weak side linebacker. That there's no penalty in not doing that. You can do anything on the defense, but I think he could be a strong side linebacker. He can cover a tight end. I believe he can do it. The only question is he needs to stop the run better. He needs to be able to hit that line of scrimmage at the point of attack and hold his ground. He gets bullied by tackles. He gets bullied by guards. Yes, he sometimes gets skinny, able to get through the line of scrimmage and stop the ball carrier, but he needs to get better on that. Put on 10 or so pounds. Work on your bull rush moves, and I think he'll be just fine. He's just a flat-out speed rusher. That's the only problem. But throwing Josh Allen there at 4-3 outside linebacker and the strong side role will be the best fit. Not the perfect fit, but the best fit for Josh Allen moving forward for the Jets. Moving on to the Oakland Raiders, I have them selecting Clelin Ferrell, defensive end out of Clemson. Now, he's another guy. He doesn't really fit the scheme. They run a 4-3 defense. He's more so a 3-4 outside linebacker, but I think he can play 4-3 defensive end. Just grab yourself. He's on the smaller side. Yes, I get it. But he's very strong. He's stronger than Josh Allen. I think he can hold his own there. He's more suited toward the 3-4 outside linebacker role. But with 13 sacks, you guys had 13 sacks coming into 2018. You guys had 13 sacks as a total in 2018. You will be so dumb as to not getting anybody on that front seven, whether that be a linebacker or a defensive end. You need to get somebody there. 13 sacks is no excuse. You need to get somebody to get you some kind of amount of sacks. Now, Maurice Hurst is starting to develop as that pass rushing defensive tackle. You don't know what you're getting with Arden Key. He's a developmental player. And if you guys get Rashan Gary, who more so fits your scheme, if you guys get Rashan Gary, he's going to be another defensive question mark for you guys. He's a developmental player. He's a potential type player. You guys already drafted a potential type player in Maurice Hurst, in Arden Key on that defensive line. Do not do it again. You guys need to get somebody that you know is going to produce with you guys, and that's going to be Clelin Ferrell. Moving on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I have them selecting Devin White, inside linebacker out of LSU. He may be one of the better prospects in this draft right now. You cannot miss up on Devin White. Now, I know you have some problems on that defensive line. You have, your first round pick last year, Vita Vea, hasn't really done much for you guys. You guys just released Vinny Curry, but you do have Carl Nassib, so stick with that. Your defensive line should be fine in the long run. You guys shouldn't waste a pick on that. You guys shouldn't waste a pick on the defensive end position or the D-line with the 5th overall pick. You guys need to shore up that linebacking core because it's not very good whatsoever. So, you have Quan Alexander, who is a free agent right now. Do you want to pay him big money, or do you want to pay big money to CJ Mosley, or do you want to get yourself a cheaper option in getting Devin White out of LSU? And I think instantly he's going to be a plug and start type of player. He's going to be a starter for you guys for years to come. He's going to be a cornerstone for your defense. I absolutely am of the belief that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers should draft Devin White. With the 6th pick in the NFL draft, the New York Giants select Dwayne Haskins, quarterback out of Ohio State. Now, I am not on the quarterback bandwagon. They have to prove a lot more to me, but in this situation, all of my guys are off the board that I really want. Now, I can go Jonah Williams here. I can go Jawaan Taylor here, but I think just grab up the quarterback of the future. You don't know what the quarterback situations are going to be next year and things like that, so go ahead and grab up Dwayne Haskins. I really like Trevor Lawrence. He is my guy, but he's not going to be entered in the draft in the next 2 years from now. I really want a quarterback of the future. Kyle Lauletta isn't getting it done. So I'm just going to grab up Dwayne Haskins. He's going to be a very good player if he sits behind Eli for a year. You know, a lot of people, he is a pocket passer. He's not one of those quarterbacks you see nowadays that just look at one wide receiver, and if he's not open, you just run it. You know, he's not like one of those guys. He's a legit pocket passer, needs to work on that deep passing game, but I think Dwayne Haskins would be a perfect prospect to sit behind Eli for a year and then eventually start. We now move on to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, you could say quarterback here, but with their new offensive coordinator in John DeFilippo, I think they're really going to try out Blake Bortles for just 1 year. Remember, he did sign a contract extension, so it's not like they're picking up his 5th-year option or whatever, and he's playing out his contract. He's already been signed for the next 2 to 3 years. So, they can release him and things like that. They can get a quarterback, but I think they'll stick with Blake Bortles and see if John DeFilippo can do any work in him. So I have them drafting Ed Oliver, defensive tackle out of Houston. Now you may be thinking, what the hell do you have Ed Oliver going to the Jacksonville Jaguars? They have one of the best defensive lines in the NFL. Yes, but have you seen their cap space? They are negative $7 million above the cap. They owe $7 million. They don't have enough money. They have to cut some guys. You're looking at guys that are going to be cut like a Calais Campbell or restructure his contract. And you're looking at a guy like Malik Jackson. All 3 of these guys can be cut on the defensive line, and that's going to leave a big hole there. Keep that defensive line strong and draft up Ed Oliver out of Houston. He's going to be a great fit and great pick for you guys moving forward. With the 8th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, I have the Detroit Lions selecting Rashan Gary, defensive end out of Michigan. He's a local kid. He's a developmental player. You guys already have some strong pieces there in Romeo Okwara. Kerry Hyder is a free agent, but I expected you guys to re-sign him. Ezekiel Ansah will not be making a comeback there. You guys also have Deshaun Hand as well. So go ahead and grab yourself Rashan Gary. Yes, he's a developmental player, but he has a lot of great characteristics that can make him a great player. His production hasn't been very high at the collegiate level, but I think it can reach that level in the NFL level. With the 9th overall pick, I have the Buffalo Bills selecting Jonah Williams, offensive tackle out of Alabama. He is clear-cut the best offensive lineman in this draft right now. It is not even close. I think he's the best offensive lineman. A lot of people say he can move to guard, but I think he's fine at left tackle. He's great at pass blocking, great at run blocking. He's great at getting to the second level when it comes to getting, chipping a defensive end, knocking him down, and moving up to the linebackers. Great at doing that. He's great at pulling in the run game, so he can do it all. So Jonah Williams should be a great pick for you guys moving forward. Deion Dawkins is just not getting it done at left tackle. Go ahead and move Deion Dawkins back to right tackle. Jordan Mills is a free agent. Do not re-sign him. Get Jonah Williams and plug him in at left tackle. Deion Dawkins at right tackle. You guys should be fine from there. With the 10th overall pick, I had the Denver Broncos selecting Drew Lock, quarterback out of Missouri. Now, I see a lot of buzz that the Denver Broncos are very stoked about Drew Lock. He can be a successor to Case Keenum. Case Keenum is not going to be there for much longer. He's making a lot of money on top of that. Case Keenum is making bank right now for whatever reason. But with Drew Lock there, the Denver Broncos don't have to commit to Case Keenum any longer. So developing Drew Lock and eventually starting him, I think Drew Lock can be a very good prospect moving forward. Next, I have the Cincinnati Bengals. They have a big need at offensive tackle. Yes, they have Cordy Glenn at left tackle, but they really have nobody at right tackle. They have Bobby Hart at right tackle, and he's a free agent. So, and also you guys have that failed draft pick, that failed first round pick in Cedric Abui that everybody knew was going to be a bad pick, and he was for the most part. He's also a free agent. Go ahead and grab yourself an offensive tackle in Jawaan Taylor to plug him in at right tackle. He played right tackle in Florida. It's not like he's going to have to adjust to a new position. He's very comfortable at right tackle. Go ahead and draft him there. He will be a great pick for you guys moving forward. With the 12th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, I had the Green Bay Packers selecting Montez Sweat, outside linebacker out of Mississippi State. This guy is another speed rusher. He's going to be a great, and on top of that, he's very good at stopping the run. He can be a strong side 3-4 outside linebacker, and the Green Bay Packers need some help on that pass rush. Nick Perry is there, but he hasn't been doing much for you guys at all. You have Kyler Fackrell, who's really been doing very well at that outside linebacker position. Clay Matthews is a free agent right now. I don't imagine you guys re-signing him, so go ahead and grab yourself Montez Sweat and move on from Clay Matthews. With the 13th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, I have the Miami Dolphins selecting Kyler Murray, quarterback out of Oklahoma. Now, Kyler Murray, I have my opinions on Kyler Murray. It's not very good, but I think he can do something in the NFL. He's now committing 100% to the NFL, so I will imagine. Now, like I said, my first mock draft, I never have any trades, so I imagine Washington is going to trade up for Kyler Murray. That's what I imagine them doing, but in this situation, I don't have any trades happening. I just have it straight up. So the Miami Dolphins, I have them selecting Kyler Murray. I don't think they're gonna move. They're gonna move forward with Ryan Tannehill. He's a 30-year-old quarterback. He's not very good on top of that. So they're gonna have to move on from Ryan Tannehill. With the 14th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, I have the Atlanta Falcons selecting Jeffery Simmons, defensive tackle out of Mississippi State. This guy is a monster. When I was watching Montez Sweat on film, I was also seeing Jeffery Simmons on film. He's a complete monster on that defensive line. Now, he did recently tear his ACL. He might not play his rookie season. News just got out actually today that he tore his ACL. So that's a big problem there. But I think he's going to be a great fit for Atlanta, whether they want to pick him up or not. But in this situation, I have them picking him up here with the 14th pick. With the 15th pick, I have the Washington Redskins selecting Daniel Jones. They need a quarterback. They have to go quarterback. They can't go anybody else. They don't have anybody at quarterback. You know, Josh Johnson is not going to be there, probably not. And even so, he's terrible. And Alex Smith is not returning. So who do you guys have there? Nobody. Colt McCoy, you know, nobody there. So you guys have to get a quarterback. Daniel Jones is probably the last quarterback on the board that you guys can grab up. With the Carolina Panthers pick, the 16th pick, I have them selecting DK Metcalf. Now, they can go defensive end here. I don't really think there is a big-time defensive end that can go in this situation. You guys have Brian Burns, but I don't really think he's a 4-3 defensive end. You guys have other guys. I don't really think there's any other defensive end that's going to, you know, work their way all the way up to the 16th pick. So I have you guys filling in that hole at wide receiver with DK Metcalf. Now, this draft is full of wide receivers that don't know how to run routes. You look at DK Metcalf from Ole Miss, also A.J. Brown. They just run in a straight line and hope to catch it, but they're very good athletes. I believe they can run routes. It's not like they can't. It's just that their scheme that they're in is a vertical offense, so they really don't run routes, but I think they can run routes. We'll see what happens in the combine, but DK Metcalf is probably the best wide receiver in this draft. For the Cleveland Browns, I had them selecting Yodny Cajuste, the offensive tackle out of West Virginia. He's a very athletic. He's almost built like a tight end, but he's a very good offensive tackle. A lot of people are questioning his ability to play offensive tackle in the NFL level, but I think he can do just fine at that. I think Cajuste will be very good for Baker Mayfield. On top of that, Baker Mayfield is a scrambler, so Cajuste could keep up with Baker Mayfield. So yeah, I think I have offensive tackle Yodny Cajuste going to Cleveland. I had the Minnesota Vikings selecting Cody Ford, tackle / guard out of Oklahoma. I think he's very, very well suited to play guard at the NFL level, and they have a big need at guard, the Minnesota Vikings do. So them drafting Cody Ford, he can play tackle and guard, so he'd be a versatile player for you guys moving forward. So go ahead and draft yourself Cody Ford. Next, I have the Tennessee Titans selecting Brian Burns, outside linebacker out of Florida State. He's going to be a fantastic pick for you guys. Brian Arakpo has retired. You have Derek Morgan. He is a free agent. But you have also your second-year guy, rookie last year, in Harold Landry. He's going to be a great pick for you guys. Leave him there, and you're going to have Brian Burns on the other side. It's going to be a great matchup for you guys moving forward. Brian Burns, a fantastic speed rusher for Florida State. He fits your scheme perfectly moving forward. Next, I have somebody that fell all the way down, and that's Greedy Williams. I have him going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I mean, when are the Pittsburgh Steelers actually going to find themselves a good cornerback? You know, they got Artie Burns, Cody Sensabaugh, Joe Hayden. They've drafted quarterbacks in the past, and every single year, I mean every single year, I had the Pittsburgh Steelers drafting a cornerback with their first pick in the first round. So I'm gonna have them doing it again and getting Greedy Williams, who fell all the way down to them out of LSU. Best cornerback on the board, great man corner. They run a lot of man there in Pittsburgh, so a great fit there. Next, I have the Seattle Seahawks, staying with the local guys. Byron Murphy out of Washington. A lot of people are saying that he may be the better cornerback coming into the draft. I think he can be. I want to see a lot more. I have a problem with Washington cornerbacks. We've seen Sidney Jones a couple years back. Sidney Jones I did not like, and he's not really doing too well with the Philadelphia Eagles just because they run that very off cover 3, and I don't like the cover 3 corners coming into the NFL, because you really don't know what to see from them. They don't press, they don't do anything, they just blanket you. They stick 5 yards away from you and just make sure you don't beat them deep. They are very fast, yes, but I don't really see very much of any physical ability from these Washington corners. But Byron Murphy, however, Byron Murphy has shown the ability to get physical at the line of scrimmage, so I do like Byron Murphy. Sidney Jones did not do that. He was just strictly a blanket cover 3 corner, so I do like I do like Byron Murphy coming out the draft. So very good pick there for Seattle. Next, we move on for the Baltimore Ravens. I had them selecting Marquise Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown out of Oklahoma. So to me, I think he's the best wide receiver prospect. It's just that he's not the big wide receivers that everybody wants, but I think he's going to be a great fit there in Baltimore. They need a playmaker on that offense to help Lamar Jackson in any way possible. Their wide receivers consist of old man Michael Crabtree and Willie Snead, and John Brown is a free agent, so go ahead and get yourself a replacement for John Brown in Hollywood Brown. Next up, the Houston Texans. I had them selecting DeAndre Baker, cornerback out of Georgia. I think he's another very good cornerback prospect, very big cornerback prospect. Not very big as far as height and weight. I think he's right around the same size as Greedy Williams, but he just has bigger arms. I think he's better in the press games, more physical at the line of scrimmage, more physical. He's a very good ball hog, very good ball tracker. So in Houston, he will be a very good fit there. Kareem Jackson and Jonathan Joseph are both free agents, so you guys go ahead and move on from them. You still have Kevin Johnson there, so go ahead and you have Kevin Johnson and DeAndre Baker there. Next, I have with the second pick for the Oakland Raiders, I have them selecting Kelvin Harmon, wide receiver out of North Dakota State. This guy is fantastic when it comes, I mean, he's not the best route runner. I haven't seen him run routes because he's another vertical offense type guy. I really hate that. But he's a tall receiver, very big, catches all the 50-50 balls. I'm talking back shoulder throws, just balls where you just throw it up in the air for him. He makes fantastic catches. This guy can be a very good wide receiver moving forward. And, I mean, the Oakland Raiders need a playmaker on offense for the wide receiver. They had nobody on that wide receiver core. Go ahead and pick yourself Kelvin Harmon, a big play receiver for Derek Carr. We now move on to the 25th pick, the Philadelphia Eagles. I have them selecting Josh Jacobs, running back out of Alabama. Their running game is terrible right now. Jay Ajayi is a free agent. I don't know what you're gonna do with Corey Clement. He's a backup running back. And then you have Darren Sproles, who's retiring this year, or he may play another year. I don't know. But neither of them are gonna be starters. I don't imagine them moving forward with Jay Ajayi. So Josh Jacobs will be a good fit there. We now move on to the Indianapolis Colts. They have a great defense. It's getting a lot better. Their offense is completely fine. I don't think they really need anything on offense right now. They need more cornerbacks. They need more safeties, but alongside their third-year safety. But they can go defensive line here, and they should. They have Marcus Hunt and another guy that I'm not too sure of on that defensive tackle position. Grab yourself Christian Wilkins, defensive tackle out of Clemson. Next up, I have the Oakland Raiders with their third first-round pick. I have them getting Deontay Thompson, safety out of Alabama. He's going to be a great fit there. They really need safety help. Most of their safeties are free agents, and the other safeties coming in, I mean, they missed on Obi Melanfonu. He wasn't a very good pick. They should have gotten Budda Baker last year, but they did not do that. But, you know, their safeties are relatively non-existent. Go ahead and grab yourself Deontay Thompson. Very good sideline to sideline safety. Next, I have the Los Angeles Chargers. This is a team that really doesn't have too much needs. They really just need to fill up their depth. But I have them selecting Dalton Reisner, offensive tackle. You know, he can be a starter right off the bat. He's a very good run blocker, so I imagine him going to right tackle, which is what their need is. They need a right tackle. But I don't know about his pass blocking skills. He's not very good at the point of attack. I don't see him really bully any defensive linemen. I haven't seen that whatsoever. He got completely mollywopped by Montez Sweat, who really put him on his butt, just pancaked him. So I question his strength. But I think his run blocking ability, I know it's kind of ironic that I don't like his strength, but his run blocking ability is good. I just don't like his pass blocking ability. It's not very good. But he's still a first-round prospect to me, and going to the Los Angeles Chargers will be a good fit there. Next up, the Kansas City Chiefs. Their front seven is good, and I think they are moving to a 4-3 with Steve Spagnuolo, former Giants defensive coordinator, going to Kansas City. They're moving to a 4-3, and I have them getting Nasir Adderley, safety out of Delaware. He's a very good prospect, very good sleeper prospect. I think the Kansas City Chiefs should not miss out on. Pair him up next to Eric Berry, and I think he should be a very good fit there. Their front seven is very good. Their defense just needs to get better all around. They really need to focus on defense in free agency and the draft. And then the Green Bay Packers, they got their pick from the New Orleans Saints. They traded up to get Marcus Davenport last year, so they traded with Green Bay, and now Green Bay is on the clock with the 30th pick, and I had them selecting N'Keal Harry, wide receiver out of Arizona State. He's another big, tall receiver that just doesn't run a lot of routes. You're seeing that a lot in this draft, but he's another top receiver, and I think you have to get somebody in that wide receiver core for Aaron Rodgers. There are a lot of borderline guys, you know, that Scatling guy, whatever his name, Valdez Scatling. You know, Randall Cobb is a free agent. You have Devontae Adams, who's very good, of course. You have Equanimeous St. Brown and guys like that. You don't have very much talent there at that wide receiver core. A lot of number 3 guys, but get yourself N'Keal Harry. You guys, you should be able to do something with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. Next to Los Angeles Rams, they need to shore up that defense. They were one of the not one of the worst defenses last year, but they were pretty bad last year as far as stopping the run. And as far as the front seven goes, I know it's a little ironic because they have a very good front seven. They just weren't pairing up very well last year. But I'm getting Devin Bush, inside linebacker out of Michigan. So yeah, very good fit there for Los Angeles. And then with the last pick, I have the New England Patriots. You don't know what's happening with Gronk, and they don't really have very good tight ends besides Gronk, and they need to keep that offense going. So I have them getting TJ Hawkinson, tight end out of Iowa. This guy catches everything. He's a route running tight end, and he catches everything. I mean, and he's a speedster down the field. I mean, he's a very good tight end. I think he can be a better tight end than a lot of these other tight end prospects from last year and years before. TJ Hawkinson is going to be a fantastic tight end, and I think he'll be a very good fit there in New England to fill in for Gronk. So that is my mock draft. I don't know if you guys watched the whole entire video. It was pretty long, I imagine. So leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed the video. Remember, I'll be coming out with a mock draft probably before or after the combine is coming right around the corner. So keep that in mind, and I'll see you guys in the next video.